Hi there, my name's Shadylikeatree, and welcome into my review of Tomb Raider 2013. What you're seeing here is some of my favorite gameplay from the game, some of my favorite scenes. It took me a while to figure this puzzle out, but after I did, I was like, wow, this is a really, really cool thing that's going on here. And I eventually figured it out, and then I've got after this some combat that kind of shows off the pistol and the bow and arrow, which is my favorite weapon in this, but we'll get to that more in a minute. So first off, I'm going to say I'm a fan of the Tomb Raider series. I've played Lara Croft since the first game on Sony PlayStation, however many years ago that was. It was quite a long time. And I think this game is, in my opinion, I think it's the best one. Later I will compare this game to Uncharted, the Uncharted franchise starring Nathan Drake, and the Assassin's Creed franchise starring Desmond. But in this sort of series, I suppose, this game is it's an action adventure game, and it's very go powered for Lara, and I think that this game doesn't over sexualize her, and that can be something that's, I think, very important to many different groups of people. But nonetheless, I was able to beat this level, and then up and coming you'll see a pretty cool action scene that I was rather not prepared for. But as I had said, I've been waiting for March for quite some time. The new Tomb Raider is here, and Lara Croft is back, sort of, in a big way. I'll talk about the story first, I guess. To me, it was really well written, and minus a few glitches here and little things that kind of irked me. I find the game fun and challenging, but not necessarily frustrating or impossible. I'm going to probably take a stab in the dark here, and it's probably not going to be too hard of a stab in the dark, and say that this will probably be the first game in, I would say, 3 Tomb Raiders that will follow along in this. When you start out with Lara, she's not a very accomplished Tomb Raider, Tomb Traveler, adventurer, and she kind of has to psych herself up and remind herself. It's not the Lara Croft of old games where she's already seen and done quite a bit of things when you first meet her in the game. This Lara is a little more girlish isn't the right word, but unexperienced and unseasoned, and a little less worldly than Lara Croft's of previous games. Early on, she still has to remind herself of basic survivor skills and kind of psych herself up to accomplish tasks. But as the game goes along, she becomes more experienced, and all the things she does in the game kind of street smart her up, for lack of a better term, wisen her up to survival and all the things of the island that you're on that you kind of have to do. For instance, there's this one guy who tries to kill her, and when he asks her for mercy, you have the option to either shoot him or let him live, and if you kill him, like I did, she tells him to go to hell, which I think is an enjoyable experience. Overall, I enjoyed the game. It's a great game. Not a good game, not an amazing game, but a great game. Using Game Informer's scale of 1 to 10, which you can find in any Game Informer magazine, I give it a 9.25. My experience was only negated by maybe a few minor hiccups. One of those was I had a couple times where I was trying to jump onto a rock face to catch, but the game would freeze mid-jump, and therefore I wouldn't latch on in time, and I would fall to my death. And that happened to me several times throughout the game, but it never happened to me more than once or twice in a row. I'd say in total probably happened to me 6 times. Also, there were noticeable invisible spawn lines that I kind of ran across, where you could be progressing through the jungle, through the forest, and then you'd hit this invisible line, and an enemy could spawn within feet of where you were located at that time. So that kind of caused an issue. And then the command button pushes from the start of the game weren't something that I was really used to right away. It took me several tries the first time they had this command episode kind of thing. And right here, this is a day camp. This is where once you've leveled up your skills, or you get salvage, which is things you get by breaking crates, looting enemies, and what have you. You can upgrade your guns, your equipment. As I kind of roll through it there, I don't really think I can update anything at this point in the game, but nonetheless, it's enjoyable experience. And also, every time you camp, Laura writes in her diary, which kind of shows you how far along in the process of the game she is. And it's something that I really truly enjoy. Kind of a cool feature in the game. I think without this feature, the game is maybe not as important, or not as important, not as easy to play. I think that these campfire sections give you a nice 30 or 40-second break from the action, because this is an intense game, and I did have to put it down several times when I was originally playing it. And we do a quick edit here to another battle scene. Right here, I sneak up on some dudes who are unsuspecting, and I'm able to take them out pretty easily using the bow and arrow. And then flash forward here to another scene. This is a scene that took me several times. I died quite a bit on the first playthrough, just because I wasn't exactly sure what to do, and that does happen sometimes during this game, where you're in this open world, because Tomb Raider is open world, even though it does have kind of a linear feel to it. It's open world, and you can get kind of lost in that open world sometimes, and you can die because you're surrounded on all sides by enemies, and there's really nothing you can do. And I'm about to be surrounded here, and all these guys are coming to kill Laura, but Laura's pretty awesome, so we'll see how she handles that. But continuing on with my review. However, and this is kind of one big however when it comes to my review, Tomb Raider is really great, despite those small little hiccups that I mentioned previously. And it's a game I haven't really experienced before. As I talked about, it's open world, but it's linear at the same time. Very much how Assassin's Creed 3 was in its kind of linear open worldness. Where you have a specific story to follow, but there are other side quests, side missions you can kind of deviate from. Even though I don't necessarily like to do side quests, I like to follow the main story, because that's what cultivates my interest the most and keeps me interested in the game. You can fast travel between campsites when you're not in the middle of a mission. I never really experimented with that. I suppose if you're trying to go for 100% completion, that might be something that you do. I stated previously, I thought the weapon upgrades are a great idea. Those kind of help you look for the hidden goodies that you find that kind of help aid the story, all those hidden clues and extra, just stuff that you can find throughout the level. Various prizes and extra information that kind of add to the story, but without them, the story is still complete. As I stated earlier in the video, game a perfect blend of Assassin's Creed and Uncharted franchises, open world, history based, even though it's a fictional story, and it has a stunning environment. Handles pretty much like Uncharted, but better. It's not as linear in that Drake moves kind of in straight lines almost, but with Laura it's more agile. You can move around better. And it took me a similar amount of time to beat as the second Uncharted. Took me, I think, 14 hours roughly. But I did have to take a break several times. I would play for 3 or 4 hours and then put it down for a day or so, and then pick it back up, because it was just very intense, and I had to take a break. But one of the things that's about the story that really made it interesting to me was the mythical, spiritual edge that it had, kind of reminiscent of the Assassin's Creed series. And throughout the game, there are these unexplainable circumstances that can only be spiritual or mythical to actually not be in your head. As far as replay value, I'd say that this game has pretty high replay value. It's got an online multiplayer content that, while I think is completely unnecessary, I think it'll give you additional time in the game. I don't necessarily say that it makes or breaks the game. It's kind of a cool feature, and kind of with that, with that make or break, or I should say without the make or break, it was cool to have added, and but not necessary. I'll just leave it at that. And then right here, you're seeing this is one of the traps that's set up. Basically, the backstory is that you're on an island with a bunch of people. I'll say religious people who are trying to get off the island because they've been stuck on the island for years. I don't recall saying how long off the top of my head, but a long time. And so they've set up traps, and they do sacrifices to try to get this god to allow them to leave the island. And sure enough, I get caught up in one of their traps, and I'm just kind of hanging out here, and then I just shoot the rope, and everything's good. I thought I'd heard something there when I was playing this on the original playthrough. But I guess in the end, just kind of to recap, I think Tomb Raider is a great game. It may not be Game of the Year material depending on what else comes out this year, but I think it's probably in the top 10%. I gave it a 9.25 for what it's worth. But moving forward, I definitely would like to see more of this game. I'll definitely probably buy the sequel, depending on what comes with it and how it kind of develops. I don't want them to make a carbon copy of this game and just add a new story. There are definitely, like I said, some things that can be improved, and some fresh ideas are always warranted. And right here, I'm gonna spoil the surprise. I get in another pretty epic gunfight, and I died a few times at this part too, and I died quite a bit, I must say, mostly just because there's so much going on in this game, and it's hard to, and like right there, that was a great headshot. That was a butt shot, I believe, and just blowing some dudes up is fine. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video, enjoyed my review, and if you want to hear more from Crash Test Games, please don't forget to subscribe. And I'm Shadylikeatree, and I'll catch you next time in another video, hopefully. So, take care and enjoy Laura.